What's going on, guys? Welcome back. I'm Missing, and this is...
Soul Finder 95.
And we're doing Am I the Assholes? Because that's what we've decided to do today. So, am I the asshole for telling my boyfriend he isn't paying for my trip, so I don't need to ask for permission? I am 18 female, have been dating my long-distance boyfriend, 20 male, who lives in a different country for about a year now. That already seems... Wait till the end, Charlie. Just read it. This afternoon, I went out to lunch with my best friend, 18 female, and we discussed plans for the new year. We found out that there was a restaurant opening in a different state based on our favorite show soon. So we started bouncing around ideas for going for Labor Day weekend, which is also my birthday. Obviously, the plan isn't at a serious stage, and it's likely it's going to fall through and becoming nothing at all. But it was fun to discuss. Once I got back home, I told my boyfriend about our plans and how it might be something we'll do. But he got upset and started ignoring me. I got confused and asked him what was wrong, and he told me that he was upset that I didn't ask him permission? I was super taken aback by this and told him we weren't living together, nor was he paying for it, so why would I ask for his permission? Which was a stupid thing to say because that made him even more upset. After a bit of arguing, I said to him that I told him about what we might do, so I didn't know I needed to ask, and he told me that I didn't understand basic respect for my partner. I think I might be, but am I the asshole? Uh, I don't know about you, but I think that it just sounds like she's in an abusive relationship. Oh, no, my internet died. Gotta love the internet. So, yep, I've read the whole thing. You've read the whole thing. So, as I was saying before, the internet so rudely interrupted us. I kind of just feel like this is an abusive relationship.
Yeah.
Are you
Um,
are you refreshing yourself right now, rereading through it?
no, I mean, it's pretty fresh in my mind.
Cool, cool, cool.
I think it's a little unrealistic for you to expect your partner to ask you permission. I mean, you're adults, right? And also, you're not throwing money at it, so in a sense, your opinion doesn't matter as long as it's not hurting your partner, right?
I mean, okay, so like you're one. I mean, like you're 18, so like you're adults, but like also it's your partner that lives in another country. So there's it's not even like, well, I was gonna try to see what you were doing so we could hang out kind of thing. It's like you were literally in a different country. Like
Yeah. How did they meet?
oh God,
Also,
the internet.
maybe, yes, 100%.
Mhm.
Also, maybe benefit of the doubt, that's how he was being raised.
I was thinking maybe it is a cultural thing there too.
He doesn't say where. I mean, I guess that doesn't matter, but
Yeah, I mean it so I have a friend who's in a relationship like this, just gender swapped. Like she is like that with him,
mhm.
and she is from a different part of the world, but that part of the world expects their women to be very subordinate and obedient. But like it's like um you know, I don't imagine the people of that country enjoy the relationship that they're in if they like, I don't know. Maybe they do. I don't want to assume, but like I would just assume that like it
I
wouldn't
mean,
be
I think it
fantastic.
yeah, but that's kind of all they know, right? So that's just kind of the
Yeah.
norm, so I don't think it really bothers them. Also, keep that in mind when you're dating somebody in a literal like, in a different country, is they're going to have different customs, different expectations, and stuff like that, so you
Mhm.
really have to consider that when you're gonna start dating overseas like that.
I don't even think overseas. I think like, you have to keep that in mind in relationship with somebody who lives in the same town as you.
I mean, yeah,
Like
because
yeah,
yeah.
different
upbringings and
families.
stuff.
Yeah, or
Hmm.
different cultures, man. Like there is such a culture shock being married to my wife sometimes. Like the amount of things that we experience different in life, it is astounding.
Yeah, it honestly feels like a lot of the time, people marry the opposite of each other, right? So
Hmm.
like a really like well-off person with like a pretty stable like childhood, and then you have the one that's like traumatized, shaking in the corner, and they find each other somehow. And then you're like, that's not normal, and then vice versa. So you kind of mesh your two worlds and kind of makes a mix of stability somehow.
So what concerns me the most about this one though is that she's even asking if she's the asshole. She even
she's
specifies, she says at the end that she thinks she is the asshole. That is terrifying to me.
she is also only 18 years old.
But do you know what kind of upbringing and like life you've had to live to view this and go, I think I am the asshole in this situation?
I definitely think it may be a boundary issue too. Like she didn't learn, like doesn't have that skill yet.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is like, I feel like at 18, I would have realized and recognized this as an issue.
Hmm.
But I've seen other 18-year-olds that don't. And it's just kind of to me, it's like, I don't understand what kind of life and like upbringing you're having. But I don't understand it. I get that that exists. But to me, it's just like it, it's upsetting to me that so many people live a life where they don't get to understand that.
I'm like, I was about 25 years old when I started really putting my foot down with my parents, only because, like, anytime I would try to set the hey, don't do this, it was them pushing me past the point to where I just gave up and gave into that boundary. And they knew that if they just kept pushing, that I would just do it. And eventually, it's a learned, like, thing to where you're like, okay, this person's asking, there is no boundary there. And
Mm.
that's something that you kind of like or like at least for me taught at a very like young age that when it's pushed you eventually just give in. I did at least, and so it's like
Yeah. I don't see, I don't
I
know.
think
Like,
it's just like a taught conditioned thing. So
mhm.
like I've definitely had to learn how to like put my foot down and like keep it down no matter how hard it is.
I don't know if this is like a boundary thing so much as it is like a he expects his girl to be subordinate or he expects a relationship where they, I mean, I guess you could refer to it as a boundary thing maybe, but like a relationship where they never do anything without asking each other first ever.
Like also that's her money, that's a boundary you're crossing trying to tell her what to do with herself, her money.
I don't know where the money thing comes in. I don't know why this is like a money thing because it seems more like it's just him saying
Oh,
I.
she just said he isn't paying for my
Mhm.
trip, so I don't need to ask.
Yeah, I think that she's putting the money thing in there with her own way of thinking about it. I think to him this is just like a you shouldn't go out without having like asked me if it's okay.
I did read some of the comments and they're like, "What?"
Yeah. Like that's what confuses me too is like she seems to be putting a lot of emphasis on this like I'm paying for it so I should be allowed to do it thing, which again I think this goes back to like the way she was raised. There's like some other personal things she's coping with this.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm armchair psychologist Charlie right now, but like it just
Yeah,
seems like there's other things that she's bringing into this that aren't the discussion here, which makes me more concerned about this girl.
I definitely think there's a backpack that needs to be, or
Mm-hmm.
a suitcase that needs to be
Unpacked.
unloaded.
Yeah, there's a lot to this message that's not being said
Hmm.
in my brain. Anyhow,
I don't think
not the
she's the
asshole.
asshole.
No, there's no way. There's no way in my
No.
mind. No. On to the next one. My sister-in-law got really drunk and started sucking on my husband's ear. I said it was incest. Am I the asshole? Me and my husband went to my sister-in-law's, his sister, for a Christmas party. She got super wasted and was sucking on my husband's ear and kissing his face and neck and smacking his ass. I'm
Mm.
used to this behavior from her, but it doesn't make me any less uncomfortable.
Can we unpack that part real quick?
I don't want to. But yeah, go ahead. Start unpacking. There's a load of
Used
laundry
to
there.
this behavior from her. So
Mm.
she's already let it go before. Okay, continue.
Yeah, this is standard behavior. After she got done sucking on his ear, she kept yelling for me to tell me that she's sorry if she left a hickey on my husband's neck and ear. She just wanted to make sure I knew it was from her and not someone else. I didn't say anything because it's weird. On the way home, my husband was venting about how sloppy drunk she was and that it was embarrassing because we had kids around. I said, well, she was in the comfort of her own home and drinking, and her baby daddy was sober and watching their kids, so it wasn't a big deal. I just didn't like the incest shit. I began to explain why those things made me uncomfortable. He reiterated that it made him uncomfortable too. Then we moved on. Well, it's been a week since then, and now he's telling me it pissed him off that I was talking shit about his sister by calling her incest. I reminded him that first of all, he initiated the talking shit, that I didn't think she as a person was incest, but her actions were. Now we're arguing about semantics. Am I the asshole? Edit 1. For all the curious people, he tries to push her away when she does it, but doesn't try hard enough and isn't stirred with her. This behavior that was going on before me and him even got together, 6 years together. She told me she used to cock block him at bars because she would do that shit in public. When we first got together, she had the audacity to tell me I stole her drinking buddy. Okay,
That's a lot.
that's a lot. That's a lot. That's that's a whole bunch right there.
Did
So
he thought it was embarrassing, but then turns around and gets mad?
I
So
think
does he have a thing?
I think there's a thing. I think there's a thing. Do you know incest is like really way more common than people realize?
I would not doubt it.
Yeah, no, there's like a big statistic on it. I'm not gonna search this on camera because like I don't want that on camera. But hold on a second. Uh, I'm gonna pause. So yeah, it's suspected that about 10% of American households are houses that have incest relations. 10%. 10% of American families are incest. But
Hmm.
only roughly 20% of those actually get reported and like, documented, but 10% of families have incest.
I mean, you know it's going to be there.
Mhm. Mhm. I mean like
Okay.
historically, I don't know. Like I don't want to be that guy, but like historically I guess it's not that weird. Like in modern day we think it's super weird. I think it's super fucking weird. But like
Yeah.
this is like a level. Like leaving a
Yes.
hickey on him.
Yeah, if there was. Okay, also, the baby daddy's okay with that? The baby daddy's just like, oh yeah, there goes Jenny sucking on her brother's neck again.
That's my girl. You go get him. I don't. There has to be a thing. There has to be some unsaid thing here.
Before the girl.
So okay, so she was a cock. She cock blocked him at bars. So she was like trying to keep other girls away
Oh yeah.
by
Well, because she was getting drunk and doing those things,
making out with him at
the
bars.
girls, yeah, the girls were like, oh, he's clearly with this girl, his sister. And she says that he pushes her away, but doesn't like keep it, right? So that's the boundary thing we
Mm-hmm.
talked about in the last one, is she kept going and he just gives in.
Mm-hmm. So I think either there's more to it and he's getting upset that she's talking about it, or he likes it and he's upset that she's like pushing back and that's why he's getting upset about it.
This seems like an extreme like thing though, because she's kissing and sucking and whatever on him.
I think they fuck. I
But
think they
like
fuck. I'm gonna say it.
she's
I'm gonna say
used
it.
to the behavior. So what about now is different than before?
Well, I think she suspects that they fuck. I think she's posting it on Reddit because she wants somebody to tell her or tell her that it's normal because she's worried they fuck.
Fair.
Yeah, I think they fuck. And I think she knows they fuck. And I think she's wanting somebody to be like, no, they don't fuck. This is just my sister does this with me. And she's like, God, please tell me that it's just like it's weird to me. Please, somebody tell me that it's just weird to me. Tell me it's just weird to me.
Saves water for us to shower together, type thing.
Oh, that's a sentence I can't unhear. What?
I mean, that's what it's kind of like, right? In this scenario. Like, that's what I feel like would happen or has happened with him.
I. So I know somebody who used to babysit these two kids and a brother and sister, and they just walked in on them going at it, man.
Oh.
Yeah.
What do you do? Do you yell at them and be like, no, grab a squirt bottle? Or are you like, we gotta talk
like
when you're done?
like they're two frisky cats just pumping on the couch.
Yeah.
Well, in this situation, what the babysitter in question did is vomit and walk out and leave. Because if they're old enough to screw each other, I guess they've decided that they're old enough to watch themselves.
That's true.
So yeah, she was just like, gone. And I don't judge her at all. That's exactly what I would do. It's just like I don't, bye, out. Yep.
I wouldn't, yeah, it definitely has to be a guilty pleasure for him. I don't think she's the asshole because it is incest.
So this, if you're so comfortable with this, with your wife and husband around, like in her case, husband, in his case, wife, I feel like it almost has to go further when they're not, right? So like logic this with me, right?
Yes.
So with your romantic partner, you always go a little bit further behind closed doors than what you do in public. Like you'll kiss your partner in public, you're probably fucking behind closed doors. If you're hugging your partner in public, you're probably kissing behind closed doors. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're making out with your partner in public, you probably do some freaky shit behind closed doors.
Oh, yes. For argument's sake, we won't elaborate. Yes.
Yeah. So, if she's leaving hickeys on his neck in front of his wife,
In front of her baby daddy, too.
in front of her
No?
baby daddy too, and having him go watch their kids so she can get drunk and do it.
Can you watch the kids while I go suck my brother's neck?
I
Thanks.
I love this. I love hate this moment in my life. This conversation is the best worst thing that's ever happened to me.
Yes.
I want to know what they do. I don't want to know, but I want to know what they do behind closed doors. Like,
A fly on the wall.
yeah. No, I want to be like Beast Boy, where I can be a fly on the wall, and then once they start fucking, I'll be like, I knew some incest shit, and then run away.
Oh, I'm telling.
I'm snitching, bitch, and then boom, gone. She's not the asshole. This is clearly not. This is weird. This is real weird. Like I thought my wife had a weird relationship with her mom, and this is way weirder than that. Like, I get uncomfortable that my 3-year-old still doesn't like understand that you don't have to kiss everybody on the lips, so she kisses like me and Sarah on the lips sometimes, and this makes that seem much more reasonable now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm gonna go
Ooh.
throw up now. All right, round number 3. Is this number 3?
Yep. Ding,
Cool.
ding, ding.
Am I the asshole for saying I don't feel sorry after she asked me to feel sorry for her? What a fantastic title, by the way. Can I just say, like, the curiosity has risen. Me and my boyfriend started dating on Friday, and we decided to tell our friends at the New Year's Eve party yesterday. I'm really happy to be with him, and I felt like this was going to be a start of a great year. Our friends were very excited and happy that we got together, except our friend Rachel, who's 25. At the party, Rachel acted really sour towards me. I noticed she didn't act the same towards my boyfriend. She would try to hover around him and make physical contact while pretending I didn't exist. A couple friends noticed this and asked me if we were fighting or what happened. I didn't know what was happening until later Rachel asked if we could talk privately. The reason she was acting sour was because Rachel had a crush on him 6 years ago. I recall this, but I didn't think it was serious back then because Rachel crushes on a new guy every year and already had a crush on every guy in our group at one point or another. Rachel insisted she doesn't have a crush on my boyfriend anymore and is now crushing on another guy. But she's still pissed off that I started dating him without consulting her first. She suggested that I reconsider dating him because I breached her trust and backstabbed her, and this would make up for things. I was taken back by what she asked me, and I told her I wouldn't consider dating him for her. Wouldn't reconsider dating him for her. Rachel asked me if I even felt sorry for her because the man she crushed on never reciprocated her feelings and only had eyes for someone else. She pointed out how sad it is that she knew she never had a chance in the first place because he fell for another person even though she met him first. I thought Rachel's request was ridiculous, so I told her that I didn't feel sorry and that it's life. She never tried to ask him out. It wasn't my fault. This pissed off Rachel even more. Now I'm wondering if I was too harsh by saying I didn't feel sorry for her and not reconsidering her feelings. Am I the asshole? I think it's a girl thing, and I think you should go first as the resident girl in this one.
Well, 6 freaking years ago. Are you serious? 6 years ago.
It's a long
You
time.
you can't gatekeep people. That's not how that works. And I don't know how this girl, not that, not the girl writing, the friend, Rachel. I
Mhm.
don't understand how Rachel can fit through a fucking door. Her head is so big.
He she does seem
They didn't
quite.
fall for me when I met them.
He
It's
doesn't love me.
obviously not everyone's going to like you. I don't even like what I'm, reading right now. So, mm, uh,
I yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I can't agree more.
okay, every guy, homie Hopper maybe. Every guy in the friend group she had a crush on,
Homie
but
Hopper?
she's
What?
she's expecting. Yeah, you've never heard that term?
Fucking no. I love it. Homie Hopper.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's not exactly in this text, but I mean, it's where like
It sounds like she wants
you're
to be.
dating you're dating a guy, right, with a big group of other guy friends,
Mm-hmm.
right? Those two break up. She'll go after one of his homies.
Mm-hmm.
They break up, go after another homie Hopper. She like goes through them.
Mm-hmm.
And
No, yeah.
yeah,
I get the
I
context.
definitely feel like this is one of those cases.
It sounds like she's like a homie hopper that's either like, I mean, I want to say ugly, but like ugly person and nobody wants her. Do you think she's like the pity friend?
The pity friend or the duff?
Duff? I know this acronym.
Yeah. I don't think she's the duff.
Dumb, ugly fuck friend?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think it's technically a designated ugly fat friend.
Designated ugly fat friend.
Yeah.
As my old friend group's duff, uh, it sounds more to me like she's just kind of a bitch and all the guys see it and they probably just hang out with her from this one cool friend that they want to be around. But
Let's.
to be clear, I think they're both the asshole. I do think Poster is
Do
kind of a
you?
little bit of the asshole.
Why? Do you feel sorry for me that somebody that I met didn't like me first? No.
No, so it's not that I think she should feel bad for her necessarily, like because the guy she's with didn't like her. But I think the situation is like the way she's describing it is this girl has pined after basically every guy and got denied by it, right? So it's like I've shot and tried and had feelings for every guy and never ever had a chance and never gotten anywhere with anyone, and I'm basically just alone. And I don't think her emotions for this is probably towards like this guy specifically, but she's probably just more upset that she's had emotions towards every guy she's fucking met and she's still alone. So she's upset and hurt that her friend got somebody that she had feelings for and she's still alone even though she's had feelings for everybody. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I don't think it's necessarily that like I think it's just poor emotional intelligence going on here between like I think the girl, Rachel, the friend, has poor emotional intelligence and doesn't know how to communicate her feelings, and I think the poster doesn't understand what her friend's going through. But I don't think the guy that they're specifically talking about has much, if anything, to do at all about her feelings, but more of just like, I've tried every guy, I've tried to flirt with every guy, and I've gotten nowhere. And now you have done nothing and gotten them, and I am still alone.
Also, but I feel like Rachel should have apologized because she treated Poster like
OP.
shit.
No, I agree. I mean, again, I think it's poor emotional intelligence in both of them. So I'm saying I think both are kind of assholes. I think that they're
I
both
try to
handling.
talk but not listen.
I think both of them are well, I think OP is not the original asshole. I think Rachel's the original asshole, but I think also there is some emotional understanding that OP could have towards Rachel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like I'm not. I mean, like, listen, if their friendship falls apart, it's not OP's fault. Rachel's still being the bitch at the end of the day that starts being a bitch. But I can understand why Rachel's being a bitch. Whereas within like some of the other ones, it's like, no, this is just fucking crazy wackadoo shit. In this one, I'm at least like, I get why Rachel's feelings are hurt.
Yeah, I think both of them are a little bit of an asshole. I still think Rachel's the asshole.
I think
But
Rachel,
I see you made a good argument with the OP though.
yeah, I
So
think Rachel is the like, I think Rachel has poor emotional intelligence and didn't know how to communicate her feelings. And like, I think she was caught up in the moment that made her into an asshole. And then I think OP just I think the same thing for OP, but I think it's not her fault. She wasn't the one who like I don't think OP did anything wrong. I think she just could at least like take a breath and like understand why Rachel's feelings are hurt. You know? I think there's just like a little bit of understanding could there. I guess maybe I don't think she's the asshole. I just think like, you know, think about it.
So wouldn't you like if you had somebody in your friend group that dated everyone in your friend group or like wanted to like have a crush on it all of them eventually at some point, wouldn't that kind of put a sour taste in your mouth to want to date them since she's literally hopped through and had a crush on one of them at some point?
Well, I would assume she needs therapy.
Yeah.
I would assume that she's extremely lonely and probably desperate and probably needs to see a therapist about like
I think it's a little deeper, yeah.
yeah, I would assume that she has like attachment issues maybe. Yeah. I mean, like, I don't mean to look at every single one of these and be like, I think there's a deeper meaning here. But, like, I don't know, man. I'm just reading between the lines, right? I mean, I don't feel like I'm wrong on any of these, but I feel like on every single one of them, I've been like, I don't know. I just think there's, like, more to this than what they're saying.
Yeah, I think it's a little deeper. I think Rachel has some deeper issues. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
when you start hopping like that, when you start turning attention pretty quick, that there's an attention issue from when you were younger or something.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I mean, like, it just sounds like she's lonely.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, again, why I'm saying, like, I feel like OP should have recognized this before this moment and probably should have talked to Rachel about these problems before now, which is why I'm saying, like, maybe there's a little bit of fault on both of them, mostly on Rachel, but also like a little bit on Popey, a little bit on Mopey, a little bit on Mopey.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm. So since I'm such a good reader, I guess, am I the asshole for refusing to work out for my husband? Am I a good reader? I feel like I got a lesson in reading when I was a kid that like really impacted me, and I feel like I'm either a really good reader or a really bad reader. But if I could get my screen to zoom in, I would be a better reader. But since I switched over to Opera GX, I can never get my screen to zoom, and I think it's because I'm stupid. But I feel like this is also really small. Anyhow, I, 32 female, hate working out. Everyone does. But I work full time in a fairly physical outdoor job, which involves a lot of walking, lifting, and carrying heavy objects. My husband, 32 male, keeps bringing up the fact that he'd like it if I worked out and got all toned. He says he wants me to do it for my health, to improve two medical conditions I have: genetic, incurable, but not life changing. Doctor says exercise won't help, and that it would mean a lot to him. But I think it has more to do with how he'd like me to look. So I feel like he's being a bit of a jerk for nagging me about it. I am only a UK size 10, US 8, weighing 10 stones at 5'5", tall, making my body mass index a healthy 23.3. I have birthed his two babies and I have been breastfeeding nonstop for about 5 years. So my body isn't as tight as it once was, but personally I like my body, and I feel like his expectations are a bit unrealistic. At dinner tonight, he said his New Year's resolution is to find a way to get me to work out without being judgmental. I felt judged. Husband is a stay-at-home dad. He lifts weight and does yoga, so he is in good shape. I don't mind exercising if it is fun, like cycling or playing sports, but he only seems satisfied if I am working out his way. I've tried that in the past, but it's just the last thing that I want to do with my limited time between working and spending time with my kids. So I struggle to be consistent with it, and therefore I don't see results. Am I the a-hole for not trying harder to do this one thing for him and for myself, I guess? Question mark.
Okay, side note, 10 stones is 140 pounds.
So she is tiny.
She is 5'5" and 140 pounds. You do you, but
By American standards, she is like
like
nothing.
sculpt her body. Yeah.
Yeah, so she's wanting her to build muscle mass. So
Kind of
like
tone. Maybe she's like a little like, squishy or like not like as her like she's not as like tight fitted, I guess.
so I'm projecting here as I tend to do. I tend to like try to put myself in people's shoes, you know? And putting myself in the guy's shoes and in her shoes, I would guess that his situation is that he probably thinks that she needs to put weight on by what she's saying here.
No, she said tone to get toned.
Yeah, that generally when you're in the workout and fitness realm, getting tone means you need to put weight on.
Hmm.
Like toning doesn't mean like losing weight. Like sometimes toning does mean losing weight to try to get tone, but like toning means body sculpture. So that sometimes if you're too thin, that does mean putting on weight. But also as an American, maybe I'm just projecting that because like maybe he does mean lose.
means lose or gain. I think he just means like you can be the same. I mean, naturally, if you're going
Yeah.
to tone, you're going to gain muscle density, right? So
Yeah.
you're
So he
going to
could.
wind up weighing more by working out your muscles. But
Yeah.
I think his whole thing is she doesn't, it sounds like he doesn't want her to be like, in a bad term, be like flabby.
Well, she's saying
Maybe?
that.
Well,
So okay,
yes.
I'm gonna be honest here. I have a complete bias towards this. Like this is a personal one, and I feel like I should not be in this one. I think that it does sound like he's being a bit of an asshole. Uh, but I also think there's no way I can talk about this one without sounding like an asshole because of personal issues.
I mean, I also like I was told by a significant other one time that it looks like I had gained weight and I needed to lose weight for health, like for my health of carrying a child.
For carrying a
Um
child.
yeah, so like
But you like,
child it would be easier for childbearing if I lost that weight, he implied. Oh, and I'd live longer, apparently. I mean,
well, okay. So like, I don't think you're approaching that at all. But there are people in my life that I feel um, like I realize that I'm at a weight where I need to change the way I live to live longer. And I'm down 100 pounds, and I feel like there's other people in my life who need to change their life habits to be able to live a healthy life. And they have medical situations that they should not be experiencing at their age
yeah.
that I think are weight related. But I am no doctor, and I don't. Their doctor didn't say it was because they just went in to get the situation checked out and didn't ask questions like that. You know, like they don't have a personal care doctor. They just went to a doctor about the situation. So like they went to an like just you know what I mean.
Mhm.
So like to me, to say like I have medical issues that wouldn't necessarily go away if I did these things, and then I see that same thing reflected in my personal life, where I've seen people in my life that are like, because of my health and fitness, and if I worked out, doesn't mean that these things would go away. People have these, but I'm like, yeah, but like these things can be caused by the way you live your life and work out and stuff, and like working out would make these better. They would. So that's,
And
again, I'm saying,
overall, working out
yeah,
does a lot of good for you, right? It helps you lose
mm-hmm,
weight.
mm-hmm.
It increases like your mental health as well, right? It
It
helps fight
helps a
depression
lot.
and stuff.
Oh
Yeah.
god, my depression's so much better anymore with having lost weight. But
I
like,
mean, I when I was like working out there for a while, I felt like less angry and frustrated.
mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it overall made me a happier person.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things it's helped me with, and like that's my point. Is like there's things that I didn't even realize would help with that it's helped with. So it's like I don't know, man, because like there's so many things, like a laundry list of things that I'm like, well, I guess this is just a thing I live with, and it's never gonna go away. That turned out working out got rid of, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not on the husband's side because it sounds like he is kind of being an asshole, but I'm hearing this from her perspective, and I feel like people in my life would say that I'm doing the same thing as his husband is.
It would make a lot of sense if she was at like an office job where she sat all the time, but she literally has an outdoor like job where she's walking and carrying stuff. So she can't be like unfit, you know? She's not like somebody who just sits around and does
Mm,
nothing. She's being active.
well,
But like also
I'm
he's just staying at home watching kids and doing yoga. So I feel like he may
have
feel like
unrealistic
a little bit.
standards too.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
because like,
that's
oh, I get to exercise, like do yoga and stuff like. Yes, you're watching the kids. It also there's a lot of factors. How old are the kids?
mhm.
Obviously old enough to take care of themselves if you're doing yoga
Well,
to an
um,
extent.
yeah. I mean, like again, as the one who takes care of our kids primarily, like again, there's a lot of. Is this my wife? Like, is this Sarah? No. Um. No, I mean, like when I was at my heaviest, I worked at a factory doing physical labor. So
Really?
yeah, so I mean, like, yeah, I moved a lot, but I didn't do anything on my days off, and I just ate. That's all I fucking did was eat. So it's like it's situational, you know? I got fast
Yeah.
food. I got my fast food on the way into work, and I got fast food on the way home. So like, you know?
I overall I think he's the asshole because if she's healthy,
Oh
seems
no,
like
no.
she's pretty healthy. She's not concerned.
Based off what we're reading here, I think he is the asshole. But I
Yes.
also just want to say that, like, for the general people, I think he's the asshole because of the way this is worded and like the way that he's like pushing her to lose weight. It sounds like she's very healthy already, and if you're trying to talk her into losing weight for her health, it doesn't sound like she doesn't specify her medical condition, so I can't say, like, if working out might help them or not. But also, I don't want that to be taken as like I think that people shouldn't lose weight for their health, and somebody in a similar position shouldn't consider losing weight for their health. Does that make sense? Like, I just feel like there's a lot of like,
I feel like losing weight is the equivalent of deciding if
or
you want to go to therapy. Like everyone can tell you you need to go to therapy, but until you're ready to take
mm-hmm.
that step,
No, I completely agree. I
you know,
completely agree. But also,
you're
like,
not going to be open to it. You've
I
got to want to
okay.
be better for yourself.
I think though, if I'd had someone in my life showing me a good example of health, it would have been easier for me to lose the weight. I just didn't have any good examples. Having to learn it all on my own was way harder.
Yep, understandable.
Yeah. So I like, and also I think if you have somebody in your life that talks about therapy being a good thing and talks about how therapy helped them, I think it's a lot easier to go to therapy. You know?
True.
Yeah.
I had neither of those, so
Which is why whenever I talk about things, I'm like, yeah, losing weight is not as bad as people like to talk about it. It sucks ass. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend it doesn't. Working out sucks. Losing weight sucks. But there are ways to do it that aren't as bad. You just have to learn how to do it in a healthy, sustainable way, and it's not bad then. And just like going to therapy, when I went to therapy, it made my life 100% better, and everything about my life better. So like,
you just have to find what works for you, and sometimes it's overwhelming. So just taking a little step or a little change at a time it will make the biggest difference. At least you're taking a step in the right direction.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, yeah, mm-hmm. Agreed. I think he is the ass. I think he's the asshole. I don't think she's the asshole. Under the conditions that everything that we're reading here is truthful.
Yes.
I feel like this is just one that has the potential to be biased just because of my personal experience. But I have to take this at face value. He's the asshole, not her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys, that's all the videos, all the Am I the Assholes we've got for you tonight. Sadly, we must go. We have lives to live. Happy New Year's, and I am missing millions. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let us know down in the comments why I'm the true biggest asshole of them all. But I'm missing the channel, missing millions. This is...
Soulfinder 95, and I hope everyone has a fantastic night.
And she is on my Discord. I will plug my Discord down in the about the what is that called underneath the
Description?
description. Words are hard, man.
Yes.
Anyhow, guys, we'll see you in the next one. Much love. Happy New Year's again. We'll see ya. Bye.
Bye.